Nobby Horton reads, Alfie's Sock. A short story by Robbie Lawton.
With the manual, contented little baby opened, the bathwater tested safe with an elbow. Alfie, only 3 days old, was gently half submerged, screaming.
Just check the fucking manual again before I put him in head first.
I told you already, for fuck's sake. Doesn't say anything in the manual.
There was nothing in the text regarding that. When awake, no matter what, Alfie screamed. What were we doing wrong? He was a long baby, as the midwife described.
There he is, all out. Oh, look at you. He's a very long baby, you know.
What do you mean long? Is that normal?
Years later, we learned that breast milk may not have been nourishing enough, and instead of being colic, Alfie may have been hungry. By chance, we discovered that Alfie would become a contented little baby when taken out for long walks in the pram. He would stare at rolling fluffy clouds, tops of trees, and the upper deck of the number 73 bus as it passed by on Islington High Street, kicking with excitement until he was worn out. Then he slept.
Thank fuck for that. He's asleep.
But for how long, Jess and Robbie would never know. Maybe 2 hours, maybe 2 minutes.
For fuck's sake, Alfie.
One morning, during a Sunday walk, up and down the streets lined with Victorian and Edwardian houses, Alfie was very active. Enough so that he looked hot. His blanket, baby cap and socks were carefully placed in the rack underneath the pram. Returning through the toll gate at the side of our house to a garden plot, he was picked up and placed on his exercise mattress on the living room floor. The poppers of his baby grow were slowly released, and he lay in his nappy asleep. His clothes were folded and placed on the table. But there was only one stripy sock. It didn't matter. Socks had been a popular present that month from visiting friends and family.
There's another baby present. Here, you open it.
Oh, more fucking socks.
Shrieks of a wailing urban fox, resembling a screaming baby, woke the neighbourhood. Bedroom windows were slammed as the fox scurried in the shadows from bin to bin in search of fast food. Foxes with a litter budge in the area, scavenging for any leftovers, scattering rubbish over pavements and gardens. A group of neighbours, fed up with the trauma and potential harm from these scraggy creatures, had clubbed together and illegally hired gunmen armed with silenced air rifles to crawl the streets at night and rid them of the pests, but to no effect. The ripped-off neighbours returned to emailing the council en masse. A pregnant vixen sniffed a bench in Gibson Square. The rays of light were broken by the swaying leaves of a sycamore. Something interested her. Standing on her hind legs, she stealthily stretched her nose to the arm of the bench. It was the scent of a baby that had attracted her to Alfie's sock, that had been placed by a hopeful person for a parent to find. Startled by the sound of voices, the vixen slid away into the shadows. A couple approached. They were arguing, ascending into a proper row.
I fucking hate you.
You fucking bitch.
His arms held her shoulders as he shouted in her face. She slapped him across his face and attempted to scratch his eyes out. He pushed the screaming woman just enough to land a blow to her nose, which burst with blood on impact.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
A man shouted, running out of one of the terraced houses opposite the square.
Are you all right?
And who the fuck are you? That bitch's knight in shining armour?
The boyfriend smashed the neighbour with a Tyson punch, enough to knock him to the floor. The girlfriend got up and kicked the neighbour in the face, shouting.
Let's do the fucker.
A few more kicks from the couple left the knight in shining armour unconscious. The girl and boyfriend shuffled away as the beam of headlight from a black cab came from around the corner. A vixen, oblivious to human conflict, snuck past the cab driver, who was knelt above the neighbour on the side of the road, and snatched Alfie's sock from the bench.
That's not phone yet. Oi! Oi! Is that phone yet? My phone now, bitch! Give me a fuck!
Andover Estate was a police no-go area, known as Beirut in Islington. A warren of alleyways made it impossible for policing. The vixen knew her way around and returned to her den, a hidden hole at the side of a row of lockups. A safe place. As daylight broke, the vixen picked up her cub by the scruff of its neck, who had been playing with Alfie's sock behind the dustbins. Both went into hiding. A gang of youths in school uniform were huddled by the lockups, all eyes peering at something. One of the boys was proudly presenting his new toy to his mates. A throwing knife glistened in his hand. That area was heavily involved in postcode wars. N7 3HU was a battleground, and blood had been shed on numerous occasions, more recently with another teenage death. Kids as young as 10 were carrying knives to school for protection.
He is a boy obsessed with weapons. He filmed himself holding them and searched the internet for zombie knives, daggers and machetes.
By the point at which you came to stab him, you were the aggressor, and that you acted in hurt and anger at what you considered to be his betrayal of your friendship.
Metal detectors have been installed on school entrances, without success. Stabbings still occurred. The boys took turns throwing the knife at the wooden post of a sign stating, "No ball games." One boy, who went looking for a target, put Alfie's sock to the post on a rusty bent tack. In turn, they threw the knife, spinning it towards the stripy sock, until they grew bored of missing the target and continued on their walk to school. Knife hidden under the hard base of a Nike hold-all. Gusts of wind blew plastic bags in swirls around the estate, and Alfie's sock fell from the post to the hard mud beneath, where it lay throughout the day. That evening, a man with a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, eyes glued to his Blackberry, with both thumbs tapping away, was led by the dog, zigzagging along the pavement, following its nose. The dog cocked its leg on the No Ball Games signpost. He sniffed around the mud and continued to zigzag, carrying Alfie's sock locked in its teeth. The man tapped his card on the rear of a busy number 30 night bus. The dog heaved itself up the steps to the upper deck, with a glance at mainly occupied seats, jumped next to its master on its second attempt, out of breath. The man's face was still buried in his Blackberry. 3 stops later, by the charity shop, Lancing Sportswear flagged the bus down, carrying a softball bat and 2 heavy plastic bags over their shoulders, and they clambered upstairs and occupied the back seats, totally intoxicated. A stocky lad pulled out a black high-heeled shoe from one of the bags, held high above his head, and in a well-spoken accent, he addressed the busload of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, would anyone like a pair of shoes? We have a wide range of footwear, worthy of royalty, going to a good pair of feet. Just observe the quality. Here, madam, try these for size. And for your boyfriend, here's a pair of suede boots worthy of a king.
More shoes were pulled from the charity bags and held up high, then tossed about the upper deck to random onlookers. Most roared with laughter as footwear was thrown from the back of the bus to whoever raised their hands.
Dr. Martins, please.
Heckled by some for shoes being odd sizes or different colours. What could have been a boring journey home was hilarious.
Mine are odd sizes.
The staffy watched with every throw and decided that leather was better than a striped sock, and began to chase the trajectory of each shoe playfully,
Look at that dog.
occasionally being teased before the dog legged it down the aisle, jumping over seats of people to sink its teeth into shoes. Still on his Blackberry, and uninterested in the endeavours of his dog or the spontaneous participation of travellers on the night bus, he walked down the aisle, patted his thigh to signal that they were getting off. Dutifully, the staffy followed, congratulated with applause. The dog, brogue in its mouth, awkwardly jumped off the bus, following the heels of his master, trodden and kicked by trampling feet on the deck of the bus for hours. Eventually, Alfie's sock landed in a gutter, gushing with rainwater, by the side of a McDonald's carton caught by a bundle of twigs and fag butts. Once a practicing dentist and happily married father of twins, the drills and spills of dentistry have taken its toll, and Brian now cleaned the roads of Islington, driving a council road sweeper. Not only did his marriage break down, he did also, losing access to his children, and finally found himself sectioned and in rehab for the best part of a year. He enjoyed keeping the streets of his borough clean and felt that he was positively making the world a better place. It had been raining the night before, and waste had collected in the gutter. Certain care had to be applied to gather the dams of debris. Brian was meticulous and would rather reverse if anything was missed, then get back 20 minutes early, having completed his route. Among the twigs and gathered cartons, Alfie's sock was whisked up by Brian's brushes, flung into the rotors and carried, twisted, on the filthy mechanism down Essex Road. Saturday lunchtimes were always buzzing in Islington when Arsenal had a home game, especially when it was a local derby or when Man United were visiting. Most pubs within walking distance from Highbury had a strict home fans only, but there were a few exceptions. A coachload of Manchester United fans had discovered that the Dog and Dumpling served Stella on draft and offered basic pub grub on polystyrene plates with a wooden fork. It was 3 hours before kick-off and these lads were already smashed, lobbing chips at each other until they were politely asked to stop or eat outside. Game on, chips are flying everywhere, mushy peas rubbed in faces and pints in flimsy plastic thrown at each other. The patron had seen this all before and had a wry smile on his face, being a secret United fan living in London. One lad had his face and Fred Perry t-shirt caked in beans and went into the lounge to wipe himself clean with a beer towel from the bar. On his return, his pipe had a foreign object in it, to the amusement of his mates. Alfie's sock was submerged, overflowing with froth, and subsequently became the object of humour being tossed about, leaving damp patches on any innocent turned back.
Don't love that sock at me.
The sound of United, United was heard, and they were joined by even more away fans. The sock game stopped. Northern voices joined forces as they marched together, hands clapping in unison towards the stadium. A blind man tapped his stick down North Church Road, heading towards the row of shops. A well-rehearsed route, one that he had taken for many years. The pavement became sticky to his feet with the familiar smell of stale beer. Yet, he hesitated. He traced the shape of a baby's sock. He picked up Alfie's sock on the end of his stick and gently placed it on the pub wall. Alfie was screaming as he was pushed in the pram through the garden gate for yet another stroll around the streets of Islington. An attempt to soothe him and hopefully encourage sleep. It was Sunday after all. 1 block, 2 blocks, Alfie was falling asleep. On our return, there on the pub wall, barely recognisable, faded and stained, was Alfie's sock.
Hey, Alfie. Look what Daddy has found. It's your lost sock. One day I'll write a story about Alfie's sock. But now we've got to go home and finish packing. We're moving out of London tomorrow to live in a village in the country.
And that's exactly what we did 27 years ago. I spent my childhood growing up in that Hertfordshire village, and my sister Daisy. When they're old enough, I'll tell the story of Alfie's sock to my two nieces, Lily and Poppy. Oh, I'm Alfie, by the way. And I still walk the streets of Islington when I see Arsenal. Well, I was born here after all.